to another one of Connor Gronto's streams. This time I'm here too, and I also dragged my sister on stream, so...
Hello.
Yes, hello everyone. We have guest.
Yes, we do.
Go ahead and talk, Jess. Get us started while I get everything else set up.
Stream, if you're here. Today, we're doing another episode of The Age Show on Twitch, and today was sort of we kind of realized that we hadn't actually talked about this in a while. We kind of want to talk about Demon Slayer, but now that Demon Slayer Season 2 finally finished its Season 2 in both English and in Japanese, we decided we want to talk about it, because we have thoughts.
Oh, yes. We have thoughts, man.
More than just thoughts.
I have feelings, I have emotions,
Opinions.
I have realizations. A lot of things happened.
Right. So, real quick, Jericho, are you looking forward to this discussion today?
I have some notes ready. I am well prepared. I
No, you're not.
feel more
You
than
were
qualified.
typing them before we were...
Wait to call her out.
Hey, I live with her. It's okay. She'll just kill me later. It's fine.
That is fair. But alright, so let me get started now that we got introductions out of the way. This week's question of the week for the Age Show is, what is your favorite anime and why? And I'm gonna let Jericho start off.
Oh, okay. Putting me on the spot here.
Oh, yeah. Gotta give the guest the first spot.
Well, yeah, I mean... See, I don't want to be cheesy, because honestly, I want to put Demon Slayer at my top. However, because it is not complete, I feel like it is not right to.
I mean, that's fair.
I want to make sure that it's as solid as I believe it's going to be. I feel like my favorite anime, at least currently, is probably... I'm just gonna go with my obvious, easy, Cowboy Bebop. It's
Okay.
my go-to. It's beautiful. The music's great. Episode 5 is my favorite episode. If you know, you know. And,
I mean, it is the episode where the plot finally kicks in.
well, you meet Vicious. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And Vicious is the plot.
No, the plot is all of them. If you know the show, you know. It's just beautiful. I will always love anything Cowboy Bebop. The music is just amazing. It
Does this
slaps.
include the live-action Netflix show?
So the music slaps, and
Well,
no, the
that's good.
live action is just no. I have thoughts on that, but that's a literal hour.
That'll be
rant.
another day. Just
Another
know
day.
it's very mixed for Jericho. She went on a giant rant once sitting in my room. Me and Connor were playing Final Fantasy and she just went off.
I was.
Yes.
I have thoughts.
Or no, do you have any other anime that you would consider a favorite?
Psychopaths, straight up.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah.
fair.
Pretty fair.
So,
Anything else you want to mention?
um,
Do you think that deserves recognition?
D. Gray Man, you know that about me. Me and you, our love,
Yeah.
our soul is tied. My wallet is tied to D. Gray Man until the day I die.
Your wallet is tied to Gray Man? I wasn't aware.
Well, if I can buy it, I'll buy anything related to the Great Man. I bought you
You should
something
do that.
yesterday.
You did! I love the little pin, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going to put it though, but I'll figure out a spot.
You will figure
Mm-hmm.
it out. Alright,
Just
Jess,
for me.
would you like to answer the question next?
Sure. I definitely do want to say D. Gray Man. I'm not gonna go on a giant rant about it because Connor has heard me do it enough. D. Gray Man is good. Yes, it's lengthy. Yes, season 2 basically doesn't need to exist, just because it's kind of mostly filler. It's not bad filler. It's just filler. Please watch it. Dub or sub is fine. The dub is pretty good. It's a bit old, admittedly.
It's
but
good for its
good.
time.
Oh yeah. In fact, fun fact, D. Gray Man has 4 seasons, and then it has D. Gray Man Hollow, which was 1 season. They dubbed seasons 1 and 2, did not dub 3s and 4. They did dub Hollow, and then they went back to dub 3 and 4. Which is weird.
That's amazing.
Interesting. Any other mentions?
Because you know what? I really want people to watch this fucking show. Please watch Madoka Magica. It's short, it's good, please. Don't be fooled. It's a magical girl show, but it's fucked up. You need to watch it.
I didn't realize
I
you
will
felt
say
so
that
strongly.
I will say this about Madoka Magica. If you finish episode 3 and you're not interested, you don't need to keep watching. But if by episode 3 you are interested, please keep watching.
Alright, fair.
Alright, Connor.
Okay.
Now it's your turn.
So, whenever we were discussing the question, I was like, I'm probably going to say Demon Slayer now that, like, Season 2 has happened. Because the last time we had an anime discussion about, like, favorite anime, I was like, I'm not ready to give it to Demon Slayer because we had one season and a movie. It's like, let's hold off on that. So, I don't know. For now, since we have at least a couple seasons, I'll give the spot to Demon Slayer because I like where it's going, animation, story, whatever you want to say about it. It gets a spot. And also, as a quick mention, because I uploaded this almost a week ago, Jerica did like an anime 3x3, and I was like, send me the link. And I was like, you know what, 3x3 is too small. And I did a 4x4, which is on my Twitter. And like Demon Slayer is on there, so if I was to give some other mentions, like everybody knows My Hero Academia or Inuyasha, Soul Eater, that kind of stuff. But honestly, my favorite slice of life is Toradora. I have actually, it's pretty much the only anime I've actually rewatched multiple times. But
Really?
I will also mention Achikochi. I love Achikochi. I should rewatch that one.
I've never heard of that
heard you
one.
mention that one.
It's on my 4x4 right next to Toradora.
I just pulled it up,
I remember
and yeah,
we
I
had
see
a
it.
we have a short discussion once about oh god, the Garden of Sinners, right? It's made by the Fate people.
Yes.
I kind of wanted to watch that. It looked a little interesting because I'm too scared to get into the Fate franchise. So let's just take one step down.
Yeah, pretty much.
I say baby's first fate.
Pretty much, yeah. Baby's first Fate.
In a sense.
I mean that it is at least animated by the same people. I don't know if it's created by Type Moon, but
if I remember
but that's another
correctly, it
discussion.
is. But it's been a while.
Well, Demon
Maybe
Slayer's
then, yeah,
animated
it
by
did look a
UK
little
Boy.
interesting. I've seen it in like those like AMV anime compilations where like they just put like 50 different anime inside of an AMV to like make a really cool action sequence. I've seen Garden of Sinners on that before.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
it's a Demon Slayer.
So yeah, again, the tweet is out there for what is your favorite anime and why, if you want to go to further discussion and whatnot. And I am definitely looking forward to seeing some answers.
I would love to see what people's answers is. And hello there, James.
Oh. Boats and hoes.
Boats and hoes! Boats and hoes, sir!
Of course, that's how he enters.
Well, duh. It's James, of course.
Yes, yes.
But no, but yes, yes, today, while I do want to talk about other anime, we want to specifically focus on Season 2. Now, there needs to be a bit of a preface to this. Technically, the first 7 episodes, I believe, deal with the Mugen Train movie, because a little bit, unfortunately, to my disbelief, not a bad thing, they did kind of redo the movie for the anime. They broke it up a bit better, so it flows in a series better. They did add, like, a little bit more stuff. Very subtle things, really. Sorry, I'm eating Pocky as I'm talking. Probably not a smart idea.
Do that.
However, the very first episode of Season 1, or not Season 1, Season 2, actually was a totally anime original episode dealing with, the Flame Hashira Rengoku. Pretty much the only reason I think this exists is because Jerica pointed this out to me. I think this episode exists, 1, as fan service for Rengoku, and 2, to explain where he got all those fucking bento from in the movie.
It's the only thing I can think of, because you see at the end, he gets like 24 freaking bentos, man. He gets
He had
half
a
of them
lot.
to his Hashira.
It's an absolute ton of bento.
Yeah.
That's the
I
only
mean,
thing
it was
I
good
can
stuff,
think of.
but it's just like, it doesn't really do anything other than just fan service, which is not bad. Rengoku is a character who deserves more screen time, especially since his screen time is so short. um,
We're not gonna go there.
I'm still bitter about that.
Um,
But I will comment one thing. There is a demon in this episode, of course. This is Demon Slayer. This demon, I like to call like the store brand version of Akaza.
you mean the generic brand? Yeah.
Yeah, like
The
not
great
original.
The Great Value
Great
brand.
val- Yeah,
Great
the Great
Value
Value
and,
brand.
like-
Nothing interesting. No one really likes this. Because he's got like, like all these tattoo markings on him too. Akaza's is way cooler though.
Mm-hmm. Very
So,
cool.
Other than that, there's not really anything to mention about this episode, I think.
No, yeah. It just straight up explain. It just shows him killing a
Besi-
demon.
Besides the
and
fact that
bentos.
Rengoku was a boss.
Oh, yeah, like
Oh yeah.
Like, you can infer a lot about the character from that. However, I would like to mention one thing. It's about the animation. This is UFO Table, of course. Why are they so good at animating shit? Because, like, there's, like, a whole, like, 30-second sequence of, like, Rengoku, like, chops the head of that demon off, and then he, like, very, like, slowly and, like, carefully, like, sheaths the sword, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's so good.
I was
It's
gonna
so
bring
good.
this up. I'm glad you did, so I didn't have to. Well, Jessica said it first, so clearly I'm just, It's well known that I am a giant, just demon slayer simp. Not even just particularly over one Hashira. It's like all of the Hashira. But the animation for that scene, first of all, it was a very powerful moment because you end up finding out the lady he saved, who had all those bentos, was like, "It's been saved by you before," and he's like, "No, it was probably my dad," because she recognized the movement, and it's really interesting to see that even though we'll go at like, or the whole like his dad really wasn't there for him, as you later learn in the season and movie, he still like is just like his father. I think that's kind of an interesting thing to point out.
It is. I love it. It's good character shit. You did not have to tell us. You showed us. Show, not tell. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good.
Mm-hmm. But other than
Anyways,
that, there's not much else in that episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, but admittedly, it's mostly for fan service.
It's
And really
a
just-
good addition.
It is a
I
good
think-
addition, but it is interesting that they decided to do that.
I think it just sets a foundation, because I feel like if you go straight into the Mugen Train movie, not that it's bad, but I could see why for an anime you have like a break, a breather, an actual introduction to the Hashira.
Yep.
Usually, if you jump straight from season 1 into the movie, obviously your only introduction was that Hashira meeting near the end of season 1, and admittedly, you really only got to know like maybe one or two things about each Hashira, so it's nice to see it.
Yep. But
We've already discussed the movie.
yeah, I was about to say.
Uh,
I was gonna plug that. If you want to listen to us talk about the movie, our podcast that we did of the Age Show on Spotify is still up there. We have like 9 episodes of the podcast, and the Mugen Train discussion is up there. Would it have been more in depth if we did it on a stream instead of talking for the podcast? Maybe, just because with the stream we have more time. But if you want to listen to us talk about Mugen Train and season 1 for that matter, those podcasts are still on Spotify. I don't feel like I don't feel like taking them down. They're a part of our history.
Yeah, they're there. You get to hear me cry about Rengoku. And while I am still sad about it, I have since moved on. And while I am forever grieving, we got more important things to deal with. Like, I don't know, the next Hashira we get to meet!
Hold on. You are forgetting something very important.
What am I forgetting?
Right after the unfortunate slaying of Rengoku, we get to meet some interesting individuals from his family.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that. Oh my god, how did I forget?
You literally did. You forgot the precious cinnamon roll.
I forgot. Oh my god.
You forgot
And
the order in which things took place.
I, I forgot.
I
Oh, I
have
forgot. Okay, to be fair, episode 1 of the Entertainment District arc, which is what some people actually consider season 2, which is stupid because Mugen Train is also season 2. It's weird. That episode actually was an hour long. It was the length of 2 episodes. So, admittedly, I forgot. All that happened in episode 1.
Or, yeah.
The meeting of Rengoku's father and brother, and meeting the next Hashira that we get to actually learn. I do think the scene where Tanjiro goes up to the brother, even though he's injured and really shouldn't be moving around. Like, dude's about to keel over. Kinda injured. There is a moment after everything calms down that, like, after, Tanjiro says, Rengoku's final words to Senjuro, the brother, not Shinjiro, the father. Senjuro goes up to his father and is like, hey, like, this is what Rengoku said. He didn't say anything bad about you. He actually just wants you to take care of yourself because he knows you're an alcoholic and this would affect you greatly. He just wants you to take care of yourself. And the father starts crying.
That...
But it wasn't in front of Tanjiro. Or even, Rengoku's, Senjuro. Like, it wasn't actually in front. But it did happen.
Yeah, it did. And I'm like, oh, you finally are grieving!
Finally!
There's something else I want to point out. I don't know if y'all remember, but it was the actual moment Tanjiro saw Senjuro, and then Shinjiro came out. Shinjiro points at Tanjiro's earrings and says something about, you must know sun breathing. You are a descendant of a sun breather.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a thing.
That's pretty important.
What else did you forget?
What?
Did you forget Child Muzan?
Oh!
I feel like...
Wow, I forgot. Man, a lot more happened in this episode than I thought.
I told you I am the ultimate simp. I know all. You forgot
Okay.
Child Muzan, and that's a very important scene as well.
Sorry, I'm having, like, I don't know, brain damage. I can't.
That or just hiding. Your brain is hiding stuff from you.
It could be.
Child Muzan doesn't exist. Child Muzan can't hurt you. Child Muzan.
But...
I forgot. Yes, that's a thing. Okay, so, obviously, I can't give all the details, but, yeah, you see Child Muzan, he's posing as a child for a family, doing research. Akaza... I finally, by the way, I know I mentioned this in the podcast, I didn't know why Akaza showed up there, other than to kill Demon Slayers. Yeah, you learn the reason in this scene, actually. He goes back to report to Muzan, hey, I killed a Hashira. Also, I could not find the blue spider lily. Muzan's looking for a specific kind of flower. Apparently it's really hard to find. Even though Akaza did kill a Hashira, Muzan was mad that he let 3 weak Demon Slayers escape.
And that a Hashira was nothing to be proud of.
And I'm like, are you kidding? This is Rengoku. He's arguably one of the strongest Demon Slayers. What the fuck? Like, the amount of fear Akaza had toward Muzan actually kind of scared me.
And that's a very scary man, too. I mean, I like him, but...
That's the thing. It proves just how much of a presence and how strong Muzan is. That it's like none of the upper ranks want to mess with him. Period.
Well, there might be one, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah. I'm sure there is.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Regardless, yeah, that was a good moment. Akaza's pissed. Punches the shit out of Tanjiro's sword because, Tanjiro threw his sword and stuck it through Akaza's chest. Akaza didn't bother taking it out until he meant to see Muzan. That's funny.
Which, there's one more thing in the episode, too,
Yeah, I know. I feel like you're more qualified for this.
Yes. We meet one of my actual favorite Hashira. He shows up. We meet Tengen Uzui, the sound Hashira. And his introduction is, may I say, chef's kiss.
Are you sure about that?
It's interesting.
I was like, are you sure about that?
I don't know if chef's kiss is the right one. I would say it's pretty iconic.
It's iconic. It's funny. You know.
It pretty much sums up Tengen, in my opinion, for the most
in
part.
In my opinion, a lot of people are like, "Oh no, like Tengen does no wrong." I will admit there is one thing. Okay, there are two possible things that people judge him for, and the big one is this scene. He only ever does this once, but he's trying to kidnap some of the girls from the Butterfly Estate, because he needs girls for a mission, which already sounds questionable. But he tries to kidnap them. Obviously, Tanjiro and Ko do not let them because they're not demon slayers. They're just affiliated with the Corps. They can't fight. You know that thing people do where they're like, heck yeah, they'll kind of like slap you. And I know in sports it's a thing where like they'll how do I put this delicately? Slap your ass.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
nothing wrong with it.
Except for this is questionable from Tengen, but just in the real world, nothing wrong with it.
It's a sportsmanship thing. It's a thing. But he's holding this girl over his shoulder, and he's like, okay, and just like kind of slaps her ass.
Just a quick little smack. It's just like
he spanks her like.
He just wants nothing much, but it's kind of weird.
It is weird.
I'm pretty sure that one was. How old was that one? I think she was like what, like 12?
Like she's not.
No. It was
No.
It was Aoi or Aoi. I don't know how to say her name.
Yeah, she's a teenager. She's a teenager. She's Tanjiro's age.
Okay, it's a little better.
Yeah,
but even then, like
she's like 16, 17, something like that.
Oh dang.
Even then, like, you know what? We'll get into that part in a second. But like, that's questionable considering who Tengen's with.
Yeah, we'll get there in a sec.
We'll get there in a second.
But yeah.
But that's fun. Eventually, yeah, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke are go like, you know what? We don't know what your mission is, but we want to go with you instead because you need people who can fight, right? Tengen agrees very easily, by the way. He's like, oh, okay. Even though he was so adamant about needing a woman.
He was just like, sure.
Yeah, he takes these three guys instead. And apparently, what it is he wants to go to an entertainment district. Oh, hey, look, I dropped the name of the arc.
To be fair,
anyway, it goes to Yoshiwara.
I feel like something should be mentioned because it's hilarious. Because but whenever Tanjiro and Ko are talking to Tengen about going or whatnot, Tengen is like, all right, but you need to basically be at my beck and call. It's like, I am a god.
Yes,
the god of like, festivals.
Yes, I am the god of festivals.
Yeah.
You will listen to me.
Yeah, and then Zenitsu tries to say something, and then Tengen's just like, you're weird.
Like,
as the one god.
Very funny.
Tanjiro's an innocent, precious baby because, Tengen does this big, like, I am a god. If I say kneel, you kneel. Listen to me. Species sparkles everywhere. Zenitsu's just staring at him like, what the hell? And then Tanjiro raises his hand and then goes, so what exactly are you the god of?
Yeah, and then it's, the god of festivals, and Tanjiro.
Actually, if I'm allowed to give a fun fact regarding Tengen's name, just side fact. So, his name is Tengen Uzui. It's kind of implied that his last name, Uzui, actually comes from a Japanese god, known as Ayame no Uzume, who is usually regarded to as a goddess of festivals.
Mm.
So, it's funny that he keeps saying he is the god of festivals.
That probably explains some things.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, so, there you go. Fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
As for Tengen, I don't know. That's just a name, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so, yeah, you're hearing the details of the mission. You're going to Yoshiwara. the entertainment district of Yoshiwara, and he's like, okay, so we're going in there because I haven't had any contact with my wives, and they somehow missed the fact that there was an S in wives, because they're like, man, this is a lot of notes. Y'all must write very frequently or a long time. And he's like, what are you talking about? I have 3 wives. Much to Zenitsu's absolute anger.
And dismay.
He loses it.
He's like, how does this guy have 3 wives?
Oh, which by the way, this is the second scene where it could be possibly questionable. But this one is not nearly as much. Tengen makes a comment like, oh, when we're there, can you help me look for another wife? As if your 3 wives aren't already there.
Mm-hmm. I still love Tengen regardless, because this man is a lot of fun.
So yeah, if it wasn't clear, Tengen is in fact in a polyamorous relationship. All 3 of them agreed to be with him.
And he loves and appreciates all 3 of them equally. We will get to that.
We'll get there. But just know that that is in fact canonically established. Yes, this man is polyamorous. Mm-hmm. Anyways,
can we please talk about when they actually are both like Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke when they're getting assigned to their assignment locations, I guess you could put it.
That's where we're getting.
Yeah, go ahead. You can do that.
Because can we just all agree, I think the 3 of us agree, that we were denied this wonderful look of Tengen's. Hair down, no makeup, and his eyes are naturally just, like, snatched. Like, this man has no eyebrows, it seems, but yet he looks beautiful. And I don't understand why we were denied this look further than just this, like, 3-minute scene.
Personally, I won't lie. Like, I thought Tengen had an interesting design. It wasn't really something I was for, because, like, you know, it didn't look bad, but I was like, this is okay. But, like, the second he, like, took off the weird extra eye makeup he's got on, and, you know, took his hair down, took off the weird headband thing, and just was all natural. He was gorgeous.
All natural.
All natural.
All natural.
Like, oh my god. Oh my god, he's so attractive. And I'm like, I really hate this.
We couldn't have hair down Tengen forever. It would have been too powerful. Like,
it really would have.
It would have been. Everyone would have died. So, like, yeah, it was okay.
Speaking of looks, though, the boys, when they're assigned, their looks are interesting as well.
Yes, because basically what it is like, hey, Tengen and his wives, because his wives help out, they were looking for a demon. They suspect it could be one of the 12 Kizuki, specifically one of the upper ranks. Obviously, they have no hard evidence, but the fact that it's very hard to find means it must be a powerful demon. So at first, he tried to get information by being a customer at the entertainment district. That didn't work. So instead, he sent his wives, who are,
beautiful.
Oh god. They are all beautiful. They're ninjas too, basically. They have a female equivalent. It's like Kunoichi, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're basically ninjas. And so he sent them to infiltrate as workers. Like, they actually got, you know, jobs there and actually started gathering information. However, he lost communication with all of them. That's suspicious. So he sent Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke to the same places that his wives are all at as courtesans, basically. And I'm like, oh, that's potentially problematic. Nothing bad happens. Let that be clear. This is a shonen.
And this is... good.
Actually, yeah. It's hilarious because if you know what Inosuke looks like, he has a very beautiful, kind of feminine-looking face.
It's straight up feminine.
So, like
a girl.
So, like, it's easy for Inosuke to pass. And Tanjiro still managed to pass, too. But everyone was like, yeah. Like, whenever Zenitsu got sold off, basically.
Pretty much.
It's like, she's ugly, but it'll do.
Well, she also... Well, she...
Yeah, quote-unquote.
I think... I forgot what their their names were, but they all had like cute little
I can
girl
tell you.
names.
I can tell you. Zenitsu was Zenko, Inosuke was Inoko, and Tanjiro was Sumiko. Actually,
Ah,
I do
um,
remember this.
yeah, Zenko, the female version of, I guess, of Zenitsu, was a wildly good musician.
Well, he has really good hearing.
But the
Yeah,
fact
I remember.
that never
I
explained
remember
anywhere
me and
else is interesting.
When me and Jericho were watching this for the first time, he's playing a. It's not a guitar. There's actually a different name for this thing. It's a more classical, traditional Japanese instrument. Um, and Jericho's like, oh my god, he's about to play an instrument. Like, wasn't really expecting much, but then he went just fucking ham on it. She was like, oh my god. I was like, yeah, he's
Jaw
got
dropped.
this.
Yeah, it was actually fun to listen to.
It was.
good.
It actually was really good. I was actually very impressed.
It was very good. But yeah, so I remember them going into that, and that just it was very. The whole scene was very funny too, because you also see. I think it's important to point out the traditional parading of I think it's pronounced Oiron.
Yes.
You see one walk by. That's an interesting person to point out. That specific Oiron.
Well, not that one, but yes, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one is not who you think it is. Anyways, they're there for a bit. I know. Trying to see if they can at least get any information regarding the wives, which I don't remember which one was in which house, but the wives in question are Makio, Suma, and Hinatsuru. Those are the wives we're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the one that we see, like that they actually show us, that's like tied up in a building and basically being interrogated and whatnot. I'm pretty sure it was Hinatsuru. Because I'm pretty sure I saw purple.
Yeah, the first one we see. The first
two of them were kind of all caught, but the first one we see, I think, is you're talking about the one with blonde in their hair, right?
Or was it Makio?
I think
The
Makio
one-
is the first one we see.
The one that we saw that was conscious, it was Makio.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, Hinatsuru was tied up somewhere else, but the first one we see is Makio. Which, Lord, I feel bad. Because, whatever. So, they try and gather information. At one point, Zenitsu actually gets caught. Because, it turns out that, because Zenitsu has really good hearing, he can basically hear demons. Kind of like how Tanjiro can smell demons. And, turns out the demon they were looking for was in the house Zenitsu was at. Much to his horror.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because, now, obviously, we don't know too much about this demon, but we do see one scene where this demon in question actually kills a person. They, basically, like, they do a thing where they, like, jump really high into the air above the house and drop them, because obviously a person can't survive a fall that high. And, there's so many questions about this demon, because so many people question what they wear. We're not gonna get into a giant discussion about this.
I have that noted.
Would someone like to describe this demon?
Scandalous.
Wow. Scandalous. This demon is basically walking around in a bikini.
With, like,
Bikini's
some
pretty nicely-
extra stuff.
Like
A
like
bikini
some
with
kind of,
thigh highs.
like thigh highs and like some arm glove things. I think it's okay to at least mention this demon. So this demon, because we got a surprise later. This demon is Daki, is her name. It turns out she is upper 6. She is the weakest of the upper 6 of the 12 Kizuki, so she's pretty strong still.
Oh, yeah. So saying
but,
weakest of the upper rank is like, oh,
to be
What a
fair,
flex.
she's pretty strong though, and also very, very fast, because I guess it's okay to at least mention what her basic blood demon art is. Her basic blood demon art is that she has these, like, obi sashes that can come out of her back, and she basically uses them kind of like Dr. Octopus, or Doc Ock from, like, Spider-Man, in a way. Where, like, they extend, they can slash, they're really durable, they're very sharp. she could summon a bunch. Like, she could do tons of attacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is also where I think I want to mention about the animation regarding these. It's true that sometimes it's pretty obvious that it's CG, but considering the fact that they have a very complex pattern on them and that there's a lot of them a lot on the screen, yeah, a little CG is not that bad.
So the CG was done seamlessly. I almost stopped remembering it was CG. At certain points, there are some points where if you really look, it's pretty obvious because, like, 3D versus 2D. But even then, it's beautifully done. It doesn't take you out of the moment. It doesn't like come off jarring. It's just beautiful.
Connor, would you like to say something? I feel like me and Jack are just taking over the conversation.
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter because we're getting all the points across and whatnot.
Oh yeah, but
But
if you have something, you definitely can say it.
I'll give my 2 cents related on it as well. Because the moment you said CG, I was thinking of butting in, being like, not to be confused with me, CG Stripes, but I refrained.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, not to be confused with not to be confused with Connor. Yeah, not to be confused with Connor.
Related to the animation for the sashes and whatnot that Daki has, it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, there are some moments, I won't lie.
To be fair, people joked about season 2 basically being funded by Jeff Bezos because of how fucking crazy the animations are.
It's
I mean, later
insanity.
on, yeah, it's wild.
I think I looked
so
up
well done.
I think I looked up a statistic once, and I swear it said like 80,000 was like the budget for each episode.
80,000?
I believe it.
That or 18. But even then, those are still massive numbers for a single episode.
Wow, okay. Even then, damn, yeah. Regardless, yeah, so this is Daki, whatever. She has a brief moment where Muzan shows up and, he talks to her. It's pretty clear that he's kind of manipulating her still. Like, because, let's be real, every demon has a sad backstory, and so does she. We'll get there. That's not till later.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's like, oh, you're the most strongest, beautiful demon. I need you to keep doing what you're doing, and, like, you'll grow stronger and rise the ranks. Yeah, like, you're a beautiful Hashira killer. It's very clear that he's, like, manipulating her, which is a little strange, because, I guess it is important to mention about part of the reason why people question about what she wears. When she was made into a demon, she was kind of young. I think she was around like 13 or so. So a lot of people are like, "OMG, it's a 13-year-old in a bikini." You're like, have you considered that she's at least 100 years old? Like, she's an adult. Also, she can change her form to be whatever she wants it to be.
Yeah, I saw all kinds of comments about her age, and like, I saw grooming being thrown around, and I'm like, okay, she's a demon. I'm not supporting that at all. That's no. But this is A, fiction. B, it's a demon that's well over 100. So why would that even be in the conversation? Plus, it's just what she's wearing. They don't do anything about her. It's just she's wearing like a bikini because the obi slashes essentially are her clothes. It's kind of like Bayonetta, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
And even then, like, it's true, she's wearing a questionably scandalous clothing, but, like, they don't really over-sexualize her, in my opinion.
I mean, I think she's sexy.
Besides what she's wearing, it's not like they're specifically going out of their way to sexualize her. Also, chronologically, she is at least 126.
Okay, yeah.
26.
She's well over the age of a child. And, again, I don't support any of that kind of stuff, but I don't think it applies in this conversation very well.
No, yeah, you're just grasping at straws at that point. But to be fair, that's a conversation that must be had, but not in this show.
Absolutely.
So anyway, we're moving on from that. Daki's still a cool demon. I do like her a lot. Anyway, we're moving on. So yeah, we've established there is a demon. It is an upper rank. Yeah, Zenitsu's fucking screwed.
He's like, oh god, it's me.
Literally,
Yeah.
like, shit,
Yeah,
I'm the one that found him.
Zenitsu being typical self, freaking out because that's what he does.
Yeah, he passes out.
Although, can I just say, just real quick, because this is actually very important to Zenitsu's character. Zenitsu definitely is very... He's a protector, but he definitely tends to protect women, I think just because of the situations he ends up in. But even though he realizes, oh my god, the demon's in my house, he stands up for one of the, like, little, like, the girls that are in the house with him.
Yeah.
He straight up protects her.
Yeah.
Like, I think he basically grabs Daki. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you touched her. Like, it's like, get your hands off her, quit, like, abusing her. I guess she was pulling her by the ear, and the girl's ear started bleeding.
Yeah.
That was wild.
So, and it was very badass. He was like, get off her now. Even though he's deathly afraid.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
very afraid.
He's
I
so
would be too.
afraid, but he straight up stands up. And he was like, no, don't touch her.
But no, Zenitsu gets kidnapped by Daki because, fun thing Daki can do is her sashes, because they are sashes, they are very thin. They can slip through cracks in the walls, into the floorboards, all kinds of shit. And also, she can use it as like a food storage, as she quotes it, because she can basically hide people inside of the sash, kind of like a pocket dimension, and just kidnap them. That's what she does to Zenitsu. It's always fun. Tengen realizes Zenitsu is missing, and realizes I've made a terrible mistake. I should not have brought low-rank demon slayers with me. Y'all can go home. I'm gonna find my wives and Zenitsu on my own. Y'all can go. But of course we don't.
Yes, good boy Tanjiro never runs away.
Good
And
boy, Tanjiro.
Inosuke is always looking for a fight.
He's always looking for a fight.
Exactly.
That man-
So
that man
they agree to
forward.
stay. Ironically, the next night, because they're here for about a week or so, trying to gather intel and all that. Which, let it be known, Zenitsu had his issue over at his house where he actually found Daki. In Inosuke's house, that's actually where Makio was. I do remember that one. Makio was actually at Inosuke's house. Because Inosuke actually tries to chase one of the sashes, because the sashes kind of can't act independently of Daki. And try to chase it through the house, punch it through the wall. No one questions that a seemingly normal girl can just punch through the wall.
They all just think she's freakishly strong, because they're like, she won't talk, but she sure got a pretty face. In which Inosuke's face is beautiful.
It is, yeah. Because Inosuke's not wearing the boar mask while infiltrating this, because why would a normal person be wearing a boar mask? But let it be known, Tanjiro is living his best life. Like, nothing weird happened at his house, really. He was just there helping, cleaning, trying to find intel, getting to know everyone. He's so friendly.
Housewife.
He was literally being a housewife. He was like scrubbing the floors. He was fixing the plants, cleaning the doorways. It was cute.
For more work.
He literally was asking for more work.
Not only that, but one thing I wanted to mention with Inosuke is this: whenever he's chasing the sash punch through walls and stuff like that, the very last time he's doing it, because he's using his beast senses and whatnot to chase the sash, as it's literally beneath the floorboards and behind the wall and whatnot. The very last attempt he goes for, he's gonna go headbutt through a wall and ends up hitting a customer that just walked through the door. Right in the head.
Yeah, it was just... You're lucky it wasn't a Tanjiro headbutt. That would have been lethal.
Yeah. Because Tanjiro's got a hard head.
A massively hard head.
Anyways, so that happens. I actually don't quite remember how they find Daki.
So, here's what I remember. Basically, oh god. So basically, they start kind of putting things together, like, okay, like, Inosuke realizes, like, yeah, I got, like, he calls it, like, a worm. and basically he it
Wait.
was something like they end up basically chasing after Daki. Like one day, like Tanjiro smells something, and he runs out the house, and basically ends up finding Daki.
Oh wait, I think I
Tanjiro
remember.
finds Daki, but Inosuke ends up basically going somewhere underground to get like he finds the Obi slash, like the Obi sash.
First things first. Yes, they find a hole, and Inosuke is like, it's not very big, but I can, basically I can get through here. He dislocates his joints, and then
All of them.
pretty much all of them, and then
Slithers.
basically, yeah, like he slithers through the hole, going all the way down. Oh,
It is
Like, really
wild,
so gross.
wild.
But
Like
no,
not even gross. It is just wild. Like
it is wild and gross.
it's
But
insanity.
no, okay, I remember this. So how Tanjiro finds Daki is so they decide, okay, we're gonna stop the infiltration. We're gonna just straight up find this demon. Like we're not gonna pretend to be women. We're just gonna go find them, right? There is an Oiron in Tanjiro's house who is very kind, by the way. She was actually very sweet. She genuinely tried to help the girls, and
Beautiful.
Tanjiro's like, hey, here's some money for all the food that I ate while I was here. Which, by the way, side thing, this Oiron knew for a fact that Tanjiro was a boy from the start.
but she didn't mind because she's cool.
Yeah, but she's like, I knew you were a boy, but I wasn't sure what you were doing. And Tanjiro's like, I can't believe you saw through my incredible ruse.
But she's like, you must have had a reason to come here, so I didn't like stop you. And I'm like, I hope she's having a good life.
Basically,
Yeah.
another thing is Tanjiro is a terrible liar. He can't lie.
Yeah, he's horrible at lying. But no, so, he says his goodbyes to her, hopes that, she has a good life. She turns back, because, she's getting all dressed and ready for, the night, because, she has a night job, right? She hears a noise, was like, oh, hey, it's you again, Tanjiro. No, it's Daki. Daki tries to kill her, but that's when Tanjiro finds her.
Yep.
Because Tanjiro basically turns around like, shit, I smell a demon. I gotta go back.
And he
that's
does
when
save her,
fighting
thank God.
happens. Yeah, he does save her. That Oiron lives a good life, I hope.
But yeah,
that's when fighting happens with them.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it ends up being a fight between Daki and Tanjiro, just Daki and Tanjiro, at the same time where Inosuke slithered and it found this like cavern, underground cave, where the Obi is just hung everywhere, and there's bodies all hidden in the sash that she's quote unquote stored.
Yeah. Multiple
later.
people, including Tengen's, I think it's two of Tengen's wives.
It is.
It's Hina and
No.
and Suma.
No, it's Suma and Makio.
Yeah.
Hinata is somewhere else.
Oh, yeah. I get them all confused. I am so sorry.
Yeah. So it's Makio, Suma, and also Zenitsu, among with other random people that aren't important but still must be saved.
Yes,
Yeah,
must be
they
safe.
must be rescued. They must be rescued. Which, by the way, I did watch a video that Jerica kind of sort of forced me to watch, but it was interesting. The group of people that do the Trash Taste podcast about anime usually, Garnt, he actually did a video of, Demon Slayer slaps, and he made a comment regarding how combat, at least in this season, worked, where, like, it's true. At one point, multiple fights are happening simultaneously. Like, they keep splitting off, they keep swapping opponents, but, like, it flows. So, like, the fight with Tanjiro and Daki is happening simultaneously as this confrontation in the cavern.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they even make a comment, like, from different angles. They're like, wait, what's that noise? And then, like, from below, they're like, wait, what's that noise? And it was something else happening, which was, the answer was, it was Tengen.
Yeah, it actually, like, basically these multiple fights happening at the same time actually flows and makes sense and whatnot, especially in the sequence of time, unlike other animes.
Dragon Ball Super.
Oh my God!
I'm looking at you, Tournament Power.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Again,
Vampire, there's-
I still love Dragon Ball, but here's the thing. We all know it's stupid, but this isn't a Dragon Ball discussion. But I wanted to call it out anyway.
No, you're fine. Well, because so so I guess we need to get this one out of the way. So we found Makio and Suma. Hinatsuru actually was also found by Daki, but Daki kind of caught on that, like, Hinatsuru was like spying on her. So she tried to get out by like drinking poison, quote, to like make her sick to get her out. But then Daki's like, no, I want to give you a gift, and the gift was actually one of her sashes. And like that was meant to spy on her, and then like I guess it found her and like trapped her in this place.
Yeah.
But it's okay because Tengen found her and rescued her, even though she is kind of not good because she drank poison. And it's okay. She has an antidote, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But,
She was hella weak.
Very tired,
Tengen
very
gives her
weak.
the antidote, and this is just the scene that it made me
cute.
really fall in love with Tengen, because he's so caring. You're like, are you okay? Please leave, my wife. I need you to be okay. I need you to protect yourself and think about your own life.
No.
It was absolutely heartwarming, considering he's been, I don't want to say a goofball, but he's definitely been a very,
Flashy.
for lack of a better word, flamboyant.
Flashy, flamboyant.
Flashy, flamboyant, very out there. And so he literally has this just like sweet, like heartfelt, tender moment with one of his wives. And I was like, oh, marry me too, man. What do I gotta do to be the fourth wife? For real, like, where's the application?
Yep.
I don't know. But
and I'm trying to think.
yeah, so that's where Hinatsuru was. We've rescued Hinatsuru. She's okay. When I say we, I mean Tengen.
Yep.
Um,
And basically, if I remember correctly, Inosuke is trying to fend off being attacked by the sentient sash.
Yeah, he calls it a
Like-
worm.
like worm belt, like belt,
Worm belt!
Worm
worm
belt.
belt.
Because he's a country bumpkin.
You can't
The
come up with any
greatest
creative
himbo
name.
that ever lived.
100% himbo energy. We support it.
Yeah.
We support. We stand. Delia Noseguy. Silly.
But yeah, Zenitsu, while asleep, decides to be a badass, destroy all the sashes, rescues the people from above, because Tengen's like, okay, I gotta find the demon. I rescued one of my wives, I gotta find the demon, I'm hearing noise. With Tengen being the sound Hashira, a lot of his stuff involves, being able to hear things, and being able to base things off of sound. So he stops, puts his ear to the ground, he's like, wait, there's a cavern literally directly below me. And he takes out his giant ass fucking cleaver swords because he doesn't use a katana. He uses like giant like cleaver blades that
Basically.
apparently they actually, it's not said in the anime, but there's actually a side note in the manga where basically these nitrine blades that he has actually are packed with explosive power. He actually does not know how much power is in them because no demon has ever survived a hit from them.
Yep.
So he actually has no idea how much power they actually have.
And not only that, these Nichirin blades are chained together like nunchucks.
Yes,
Oh.
they are.
That should be mentioned because it's dope.
Yeah, because like he spins them around. Oh, it's so good. I actually was very curious as reading the manga. It can be hard to follow action if it's not absolutely clear. And admittedly, sometimes it's a little unclear, but that's okay. It happens. And this was a weekly manga, so obviously you don't always get the time to perfectly refine everything. But I was very interested to see how a guy fights with nunchuck blades, basically. And honestly, it's dope as shit.
It's probably one of the coolest things ever. Go ahead.
Real quick, I double check. They're considered Nichirin cleavers, and they are made in making use of them in a nunchuck-esque sword-wielding style.
Yes, because he'll just spin them around, spin it by the chain, twirl one blade but hold the other. Oh, it's dope as fuck. Anyways,
It's honestly just so sexy.
So he slashes the ground, which it's important to note. Apparently, first form of sound breathing is literally just a giant downward strike that's able to break solid concrete. Because he busts through the ground and lands in the cavern.
Yes.
Yep.
Meets his wives, gives his wives a head pat. It's cute. Yeah,
It
that's
is.
good shit.
Pretty
It's
much.
so sweet because they actually, I think it was technically Hina or Hinatsura or Hinatsuru. Why am I saying her name wrong? Hinatsuru. Um, she has a flashback about when Tengen said to all three of the wives, "I need you to value your life over any mission you're ever given." And it's briefly right after he left the clan he's a part of, and it basically just shows that he was so happy. Like, I want you, like, I love you all, and I need you all to fight for your life at the end of the day, because it's when they're being rescued that she's having this flashback.
Also, I think the answer is Makio has the flashback.
I thought it was Hinatsuru.
They all do, but in this particular moment when Tengen lands in the cavern, it's Makio.
You're right.
Yep.
I like how
It
you
was a
all
very
keep
good
assuming
flashback.
that it is Hinatsuru, though. That makes me laugh.
But yeah, that flashback's also very important because it really gives more light onto Tengen as well.
Yeah, good stuff.
But this is also where we can actually get a little bit of backstory for the wives too, as to like who they are or how they are, kind of deal.
Yeah, would you like to
And-
talk about that?
You know what? Sure. Because like for instance, Hinatsuru is, because I looked this up out of curiosity because of how their personalities are. I was like, there's probably some kind of difference here. Hinatsuru is the oldest of the three.
Mm-hmm.
She is 21.
What?
And yeah, she's 21, and she's the much more adult of the three. Very, very level-headed, calm, and whatnot. Very, very sweet. You know, just a nice overall character. Makio is the middle. She is 20, and she could be a little hot-headed, but she can still be cool and calm and whatnot. So a little bit more of an adult, but a little bit more of like almost childish in her. And then Suma is the youngest at 19, and she is just annoying. I still love her, but my god.
She's my favorite.
See, Hinatsuru is who I wish I could be. I feel like I come across more like Makio when I'm mad, but then internally I am actually Suma.
But basically, Suma is almost the equivalent of Zenitsu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zenitsu.
someone made a comment that these three wives kind of do mirror Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu in a way. Because you got one that, the calm one, Tanjiro and Hinatsuru. You got the one that screams a lot, that's Makio and Inosuke. And then you got the one that cries a lot, Suma and Zenitsu.
Yep. Which does make sense whenever that was brought up. But yeah, there's a specific reason why Suma gets that harsh, like, God, she's just annoying, that we'll get later. But yeah. She's still nice in her own way, but
So, after that backstory though, this is when honestly shit hits the fan. Things are about to get wild.
this is where things start to get real interesting.
Real quick, too.
Combat happens, basically. Like, it's like
Yeah, we need to go back
5-6 episodes of constant combat, basically.
Yeah, we need to get back to Tanjiro and Daki because we need to explain that.
Yes. So,
Oh, yeah.
So
Who
from
wants
my
to talk about
understanding, I think this is when Daki starts having, around this time, she starts having this, like, flashback of sorts. Like, she's seeing someone that looks similar to Tanjiro in her memory, but it's not Tanjiro, because clearly Tanjiro's right there.
It kind of happens, like, at some point, because Tanjiro's trying to fight, which, by the way, it is mentioned kind of in flashbacks as this fight goes on, as all shonen do. Tanjiro, while he was trained in the Breath of Water style, kind of realized, you know what, this Hinokami Kagura that I recently started learning is more powerful, but I need to train it, because he can't really constantly keep using it currently. It takes too much of a toll on him. Like, he did 2 attacks, And then he literally, like, keeled over, and I thought he was about to die. Like, he literally was, like, hyperventilating, heart rate way too high. Like, he's, like, fever. Like, he's literally dying.
Yeah, it was
You
really
can't-
strong. It did make Doggy back up for a second, though. She was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, because she's like, oh, you use water. And then she's all fire, and it's like, wait, that's different.
Yeah.
It was wild. But yeah, so as, you know, combat happens, there's a moment. Can we talk about Feral Tanjiro for a second?
Yeah, well, trust me, we were getting there.
Okay, who wants to talk about Feral Tanjiro?
What a badass, first of all.
Like, basically, I'm pretty sure Daki did an attack that just absolutely, like, demolished, like, a whole section of just buildings and whatnot, and people bleeding, dying, and whatnot.
Severed limbs.
And, Tanjiro snaps.
Literal
He
snap.
is so mad, he's crying blood. It's, oh.
Yeah, his eyes are bloodshot, and his voice is very serious, very deep. There's like no emotion in the voice.
It's very just deadpan.
Whenever he's
monotone,
talking.
Inner monologuing.
And he goes off, going after Daki.
Which,
So much he
yeah.
almost decapitates her, I think.
He almost did.
He almost did,
Oh.
but then he had a memory of, well, not necessarily a memory, but like one of his younger siblings, one of his younger brothers, just appears in his mind, and he's like, breathe, Tanjiro! Because he wasn't breathing at all this entire time after he snapped. And then all of a sudden, he just kind of drops and is gasping for air.
Like,
Right
literal,
Wild.
this man is about to die breathing.
Right as he was about to decapitate Daki.
And I'm like, you couldn't have waited like 2 more seconds?
Mm-hmm.
I guess not, but it was wild. Because I was like, also, that animation, oh, it was so good.
So good.
Because it's like, okay, you figured out, you know, I can't attack you if you pin all the belts, because he basically, like, trapped all of them on his sword and, like, stabbed it in the ground. It's like, okay, but the second you move and, like, let go of the sashes, I can just decapitate you, right? Like, I'll decapitate this demon slayer. No, Tanjiro moves so fast, the belts couldn't move.
Yeah.
It was wild! All that was, like, one take, by the way. It was like, oh.
Very
It was
good.
wild.
But,
Very good shit.
yeah,
Something else happens. Something wilder happens.
indeed.
What happens is when Tanjiro's basically dying for air, he gets rescued by
Yeah.
his little sister Nezuko.
I know. I forgot about Nezuko.
Who finally makes her
How?
appearance.
Who makes her wonderful new appearance, we should say.
No, not immediately.
No.
She basically, Nezuko goes after Daki, but she's still just who she is, Nezuko, and whatnot. There's nothing different about her besides, like, yeah, she's mad obviously because Tanjiro is hurt and everything, but Nezuko is definitely not upper rank status, so she is losing. But then all of a sudden, Nezuko goes feral as well.
After
This
she had her
episode-
leg and arm cut off.
We
Why Daki?
stand feral Kamado siblings. They need to go feral more often.
What ends up happening is Nezuko just gets super fucking pissed, basically. She literally grows in size. So she looks like a full adult all of a sudden. And she gets this horn coming out of her head, and she ends up breaking, what is it called that's in her mouth?
Bamboo muzzle.
Yeah, like the bamboo muzzle. She ends up breaking that, and she is full feral mode. Going out. And
Daki's
her,
scared.
yeah, because basically Nezuko's arm gets chopped off in this state, and then Nezuko ends up regenerating it at the same level of an upper rank demon, because Daki mentions that. Daki's basically like, what the hell?
Like,
And-
your regeneration is better than mine, and I'm an upper rank.
And this is also where I think it's interesting that I think it's something we learn in a way. Because Nezuko uses her blood demon art exploding blood, and it burns Daki, a demon.
Yeah. It actually hurts her.
It's not. It doesn't hurt humans because it didn't hurt the humans in Mugen Train, but it hurts demons.
Yeah. Also, Daki kind of has a PTSD moment because she actually remembers something from her past. Man.
Being engulfed in flames, it seems like.
Yeah, she remembers something involving fire. Anyway, we'll get there.
Yep, that's still to come.
But it's a hint, like, oh hey, surprise, surprise, a demon has trauma. Oh no.
Yep, as if that hasn't been a normal thing throughout Demon Slayer. But basically, do you want to continue?
Next? I was gonna mention so basically Daki and Nezuko are now fighting, and but Nezuko is not quite Nezuko. She's like literal feral Nezuko. It's not the same attitude, I guess. I don't want to say personality, but essentially she's going crazy and like borderline really becoming a demon because she does not hold back on Daki to the point where Tanjiro basically he basically has to fight his sister. Like, you need to stop this feral bullshit.
Basically, what occurs while Nezuko and Daki are fighting, Nezuko's winning, as it keeps going on. And then they go through this building, and there is a human to the side that is bleeding, and Nezuko sees that. And again, Nezuko is a demon, even though she has not had any human blood. She's still a demon. So, it can't happen. And basically, she almost gives in if it wasn't for Tanjiro quickly being like, I have to stop her. Basically jumps on Nezuko's back, has his sword with the hilt and whatnot. The sheath, rather. And has it in Nezuko's mouth, trying to hold her back. Doing everything he can. And he ends up remembering a memory of their mother and a song that she used to sing. And while Tanjiro is no excellent singer, he tries his best to sing this song, and it brings back memories to Nezuko. Eventually, she just starts crying, like, just sobbing, like ugly crying, you know?
Like, full-blown ugly crying.
Yeah. And then she just reverts back into, like, a super small Nezuko.
Like, I will fit inside the box, Nezuko.
Yeah. So
It's very sweet.
Yeah, she just closes her eyes, curls up, she's back asleep, and Tanjiro has to get her back in the box.
There's one thing you forgot to mention regarding that. Tengen showed up, and Tengen's like, oh, is your demon sister becoming a flashy demon? How dare she do that? Why don't you sing her like a lullaby or something?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Tengen's the one who gave the suggestion, actually.
Yeah, and then that got the flashback to Tanjiro. Thank goodness for Tengen.
Which, by the way...
God bless Tengen. Forever and ever.
Which, by the way, I think it's important to mention, because Tengen is the sound Hashira, of course, he has good hearing. In the manga, as a side note, it's actually labeled the fact that Tanjiro is canonically tone deaf.
Yeah.
And so Tengen had to listen to this poor boy sing to his sister while trying to fight a demon and listening to the worst singing humanly possible.
Or at least some of the worst.
Yeah. Could you imagine the look on Tengen's face when he heard Tanjiro singing and realizing, wow, you were so off key. Can you imagine?
Damn, Tengen, we're just trying to survive here. I think you can deal with some bad singing for 2 seconds. Like,
it was, I don't know, that's a funny thought someone once said, and I was like, you're right.
But this is when it gets real interesting.
Yep, so Tengen's here, now with Daki. What happens next?
Oh, well, who wants to explain this?
So, Tengen manages to cut Daki's head off.
In pretty much no time.
Like, instantaneously. He's like, you are weak. You can't be the upper rank demon. And then he sits back because Taki's having a fit, like, my head's been cut off. Ah! She's all
It sounds like
whining
a
and
tea kettle.
crying.
Like, she's like,
And he makes the comment, like, there's no way you're an upper rank demon. But then he sits and realizes, why is she still holding her head? It hasn't budged. She hasn't budged. And then he realizes he senses something the second she calls out for her brother.
yeah.
And that's when another
Shit hits the
demon
fan.
shows up.
Shit hits the fan. Okay. So, from Daki's back, a second demon forms, and this demon goes to try and kill Tengen. Tengen barely dodges, and, this demon, picks up Daki, runs to the corner of the room, like, hey, no, you gotta reattach your head, how dare you keep losing your head, you're so weak. And it's like, wait, Daki's weak? So, this demon is the second part of Upper Six. It is what most people consider the true Upper Six. This is Gyutaro, Daki's brother. Daki has a brother.
And
oh lord.
he
It's a trip.
he's amazing. He's such a cool demon.
I'm gonna be real. Gyutaro is ugly, but that's the point.
It's
Like,
amazing.
he has literally skin and bones. He has these weird blob markings all over him. He has a raspy voice. He has terrible hair. He sounds terrible. He talks weird. Like, he's ugly.
He
As
comments how
opposed to his
beautiful
sister,
Tengen
who is
though.
conventionally attractive and beautiful.
He does comment how beautiful Tengen is, though.
He does. He's like, oh man, you're like 6 foot, lovely skin, no scars. You got good muscle on you. Man,
I bet all the women love you. And then
Oh,
Tengen.
oh yeah, because he's like, I bet all the people, they fawn over you. They must love you for rescuing them. And Tengen's dead ass answer is, well, yeah, I'm a sexy, attractive, great guy. Like, I got 3 wives. What of it? And apparently that's the last straw for Gyutaro.
3 wives?
Seems to be a recurring theme here.
I'm like, that's where you draw the line? Okay, Mr.
wives?
Demon. Okay.
Like, you're a demon, dude. Like, why is
So,
that your line?
It is important to note that Gyutaro has these, like, sickles, like these hand sickles that look like they're made out of bone, and it's disgusting. However, they are coated in poison, and this poison actually did hit Tengen, because he did land 1 strike on Tengen.
Like,
and-
Tengen bleeding and sexy. Let's point
Yeah,
that out, please.
It's like, it's like slashed him across the top of his head, and, bleeding down his face. Well, it's true, Tengen is a shinobi. And he has pretty high resistance to poison. Even he is not immune to poison. He's poisoned, and this poison will definitely kill him, if nothing's done about it. So, yeah, so now it's a race against the clock, kinda, to beat Gyutaro before Tengen dies.
So, I think this is the first instance where we see something particular about Tengen's sound breathing. He pulls out these, like, I don't know what to call them. Smoke bombs?
They're bombs.
They're little teeny tiny, like, marble-sized, like, bombs. And if he hits them with his sword, like, chaos basically ensues from it. It's, like, amazing explosions.
They are bombs, actually, that explode in fireworks. Everything he does is flashy, even the bombs he throws is flashy. Now, to be fair, these bombs actually just explode in general if they make contact with something, which is weird, because how do you carry them around if they just are sitting in your pocket? How do they not explode? I think they had to come into contact with something, like, harsh. But then again, Daki just barely tapped one of them and it exploded, so I don't know.
It's hard to
They're very
tell.
sensitive. From my understanding, they're very sensitive. So, like, Tengen can grab them, but if you like hit them with the right force, which isn't a lot, it just explodes. But
Even then, I love the effects for it because I actually it's hard to tell in the manga like what it actually looks like. I really like that pretty much all of Tengen's stuff actually happens in fireworks. Like they like all the explosions and shit are fireworks and like flashy effects, which makes sense for the sound, Hashira.
So this is when it's I don't know about y'all, but it's not a very easy thing to explain because the fighting in this season is so intricate. Everyone's involved. It's constantly switching places. Like no two people stay fighting for more than an episode together. I feel like they're constantly interchanging, switching, coming up with new strategies. Like no part of the fight is ever that dull for any moment of time.
See, and like the thing is at this point, Tanjiro and Nezuko are basically out of commission for a bit, to say the least.
A little bit, because Tanjiro is still kind of tending to Nezuko a little bit.
Well, Tanjiro also needs to recover from the shit that he just endured.
That too, but he also had to control that feral Nezuko to bring back sweet Nezuko.
Yep. So, the way the fights branch off for now is Tengen versus Gyutaro, and then Daki versus Zenitsu and Inosuke.
Which, that fight is surprisingly very good. That piece of the fight was very good. I didn't not that I didn't think that Inosuke and Zenitsu were going to be any, like, they were going to be bad, but just the fact that it was, like, Zenitsu, he's still he somehow is in his sleep form. He's unconscious, so he's in badass mode. And it's just the amount of oh my god, it's just amazing. Because somehow they coordinate attacks where like Zenitsu's trying to like get like the scars from like the obi sashes from Daki, and then like Inosuke's trying to like behead her, and it's just back and forth, them switching back and forth.
Yeah, I think that's important to note. Tengen figures out pretty quickly, but then again, I think the audience can figure it out too. You have to decapitate both Daki and Gyutaro at the same time in order to actually kill them. Decapitating one of them does not kill Upper Six. You must kill both of them at the same time.
Yeah, which sucks.
Which they're like, all right, guys, we gotta coordinate this. And it's like, how are you gonna? Okay, that's what my real question was. When are you going to coordinate this?
But
I know. We'll
but honestly, I love the fact of that Inosuke and Zenitsu are able to work together and coordinate, even though, Zenitsu's technically asleep, but also very aware of what's going on.
He's like sleepwalking.
Basically. Like, he can see everything that's going on, technically, even if his eyes are closed. I don't know. It's weird.
I've never understood that.
I don't either. I don't intend to try.
It's anime. At the end of the day.
It's anime.
So, I mean...
But... Good.
It's cool. Well, basically, what I was going to get at is, it's very cool to see these characters work together, Inosuke and Zenitsu, because it hasn't truly happened at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Until now. And it ended up working pretty well, because Zenitsu, in his sleep mode, whenever he's actually fighting, is actually really fucking cool and badass.
I've had a friend message me that specifically. They're like, what is with this sleep form? And I'm like, girl, if I had an answer for you.
So, like,
I wish.
So Zenitsu is still able to, like, call out, like, do this, do that kind of thing. Like, he can do that, even in his sleep mode. Very aware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And
so, yeah.
This is, because while this is happening, Tengen's fight with Gyutaro gets pretty intense, because it's really around this time you really learn he had been poisoned. And Gyutaro's like, there's no way you're gonna survive that. And he's like, I'm immune to all poisons! Ha ha ha! Basically.
Yeah, that's what Tengen
like,
says.
Yeah. He's like, I'm calling your bluff. my dude. Or he tries to call the bluff. Eventually, though, Tanjiro does jump back into the fight. He jumps back in to Tengen's fight.
Yeah.
For just a little bit of assistance.
Mostly assistance, let's be real. But Tengen was having like a speech with Gyutaro, if I'm not mistaken, because he's like, "You think I was born great? I wasn't born great. There's only so many people that are," and you have a flashback of Rengoku, or you see through Tanjiro's perspective in a way that there's kind of like a vision of him. Or at least Tanjiro was seeing, like, as Tengen was talking, he kind of looked up and kind of envisioned that he could see, like, I guess, Rengoku's, like, energy, in a way. And he's like, oh, like, he's still here with us, like, oh my god. And even Tengen has a little flashback of, Kyojuro, I think. Or Rengoku. So.
It was nice.
It was just very encouraging. Like, he was like, you got this, like, even though you have, like, too many wives, you got this!
Yeah, there's, like, a thing where, like, you know, obviously all the Hashira are like, okay, this is what we think about the other Hashira, and, Rengoku, you know, it's like, ah, man, I met a real shinobi! This is really cool! I think he has too many wives, though.
Yeah. Which is really funny.
Like, a few too many wives. It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
But no disrespect towards him for it, but he just thinks he has too many wives.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course. But that whole fight, or like that ends up starting because that's like when the real fight kind of starts with Gyutaro. Because at that point he's like, "All right, we're going in," and he starts doing, I think those like rotating blood circles or rotating slashes.
Like rotating blood slashes or something. Because because Daki's thing is with her sashes, Gyutaro's thing is blood and poison.
Yep.
So it ends up being like very difficult to start dodging that. But during this time as well, while the fighting's all going on, shit starts hitting the fan in a different way.
Yeah, not in the good way.
Because suddenly, if I remember correctly, Inosuke at some point gets completely, for a lack of a better word, shish kebabbed and stabbed through the back, up and through his chest where his heart is in the dead center of his chest.
Not quite yet, but it is getting there. It's so close.
Is it?
What ends up happening as well. Here's the thing: I don't remember the specific order for sure, so I could be wrong too. But what I was going to mention is whenever Tanjiro is coming in with a little bit of assistance, and Gyutaro is doing slashes and whatnot, eventually there's another person who ends up coming in with assistance.
Oh, yeah.
Which is Hinata, who has this weapon. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she has this fucking, like, contraption where, I don't know where the hell she pulled that from, but it's full of kunai. She basically launches a ton of kunai towards Gyutaro. And, you know, most people, and even Gyutaro's like, well, what's that gonna do? I could just deflect them, or, wait, like, that's not gonna hurt me. I could just heal right back up. But he realizes there's something wrong with that. It's like, wait, there has to be something weird about these kunai. There is something weird about them. They are laced with wisteria poison.
Yes, which is not good for demons.
Yes.
Actually, I would like to make one random comment. Hey, Jerica, we forgot to go get supplies to make paper wisteria. I thought we were going to do that while doing the stream.
Okay.
Oh well.
We'll do it next time.
We actually had a plan. They were like, you know what? We're gonna make some like paper little wisteria, and we were gonna get some supplies and like cut them as we were talking. We completely forgot to do that.
That's funny.
Okay. We'll be fine.
But yeah, Yutaro attempts to basically like dodge last second, but he gets he gets one that goes like straight through both of his legs, I think, and one in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And he notices he's not regenerating, and he also can't really move. So Tengen is going in to try and slash at Gyutaro, but Gyutaro ends up recovering pretty quickly after all.
Unfortunately for the gang.
He is the true upper six, so yes, he's much stronger than he looks.
And then I think he tries to hit Hinatsuru, but Tanjiro gets in the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is when shit hits the fan. Because I remember now he was angry. So he basically went straight for the kill. Or a kill shot. At least with Inosuke.
Yeah,
because
Zenitsu and Inosuke was about to get Daki. And that's why Gyutaro quickly went over and just right through Inosuke's chest.
Right through Inosuke's chest. I think
hey,
this
Jericho,
is when...
Would you like to explain what happened to Tengen?
Yes. Yes, I do. After he sees Inosuke, I think it's after he sees Inosuke, he looks, because he's like, wait, if he got stabbed by Gyutaro, where's Tengen? So he looks and sees Tengen lying on his side, facing away from us, the camera, like Tanjiro. But you notice, like, there's a hand that's, like, right behind his back. One of his hands is not attached to him anymore. And you can see that the poison he had, it's, like, grown, like, it's spread more along his neck and his face, like, the back of his head, and, like, going towards his face. Because of how he's laying.
Yep.
And he's not moving. That man is not moving. Which is scary. And then the last worst thing happens. Because right when he's realizing, like, oh no, Inosuke, oh no, Tengen, Zenitsu pushes Tanjiro off a roof because that building is basically being set afire and is becoming destroyed. It is crumbling, and Zenitsu saves Tanjiro from getting hit with an attack that I think was caused by Gyutaro, if I'm not mistaken.
And then Zenitsu ends up halfway under some of the rubble of the building himself. Mm-hmm. And Tanjiro is the only one that's not caught or potentially dead or dying.
Yeah. Somehow, within the span of, like, literally 30 seconds, you see Inosuke get a fatal stab, Tengen on the ground, his hand, like, cut off, and Zenitsu pushes him away, and you know that man is not getting hit at the time of that scene. And then you do see Zenitsu under that rubble, because he's like, it's like the waist down, he's in rubble.
Yeah, he's like...
Yeah, it's, like I said, halfway. His lower body is underneath the rubble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was still moving, thankfully, at the time.
He was still aware. Still in his sleep mode, but aware.
yeah, still asleep, by the way. But no, I have to mention this, because I have to admit this. So, this scene, because obviously, that's the end of an episode, is like, you know, all this crap happens, you realize things are going horrible, and Tanjiro gets shoved off the building. You know, trying to get him away from the blast, even though he's also gonna crash and land on the ground, right?
Yeah, and then it basically goes black. Episode ends.
Yeah, that's the episode. Yeah, oh geez, shit's hitting the fan. It's so bad. I have to mention this. So, in the manga, you know, obviously, Tanjiro wakes up, and the first thing he sees in the manga is Gyutaro. That's, like, the first thing that happens. And that's the whole... It's this sequence, you know, the whole sequence where Tanjiro wakes up in the anime and is, like, looking around, seeing the destruction, checking on Nezuko, and then turns around and that's where Gyutaro is. And then Tanjiro tries to run away, quote, quote, but he was actually looking for something. That shit right there did not happen in the manga. Or it did not happen the same way. He actually, ironically, like, when he woke up, first saw Gyutaro, apparently right there was where those, like, little pouches of wisteria were. But in the anime, oh my god, I'm not gonna lie, that actually spiked my anxiety because I was like, yo, this is so much worse,
Yeah,
but in a good way.
yeah, it's so much better than like just how it's set up in the manga because it adds another layer of, like you said, anxiety, fear, what's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, I already knew, but I was just like, yo, this is tense. Oh my god.
That
This is
doesn't
wild.
doesn't Tanjiro get like kicked by Gyutaro as well?
I think
He
so,
gets,
yeah.
he's like
gets
on
attacked,
the
yeah.
ground already, and Yutaro basically comes over and like taunts him.
Yeah, I mean, he does do the taunting in the manga.
I think there's another thing where he also grabbed like Tanjiro by the hair and is like up close at him talking.
Like he was like, "You're being a horrible brother. You can't even protect your sister. Why don't you just become a demon?" I'm sensing a theme here with demons,
Like, hey, you should be a demon.
specifically the upper rank.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Starting
Yeah.
to sense a theme.
Oh yeah, because Akaza did that to Rengoku, and now Yutaro is doing that to Tanjiro.
Like, why don't you become a demon? You could protect your sister then.
Yeah. So anyway, Tanjiro runs off, supposedly to get away from Gyutaro, but that's actually not what he was looking for. He was actually looking for a kunai, one of the kunai that was fired earlier, because it has wisteria in it, and he manages to stab Gyutaro with it secretly, even though I don't know how you would secretly stab someone, but whatever.
Whenever their guard is down.
Let it happen.
Yeah, I let it
Because
happen.
Gyutaro at this point thinks they won, like it's over.
Well, yeah. So, that happens. Tanjiro stabs Gyutaro and tries to decapitate him now that Gyutaro is weak. It doesn't work. He's like getting pushed back, and then guess what happens?
Literal. Oh my god. This is just, the best thing.
Go,
starts
Jericho.
happening.
You can do this.
This is just the best part. So, out of the blue, we find out, Inosuke's not dead.
That's not directly what happens after next.
Oh, I was gonna explain the whole setup, but that's true. So, as Gyutaro's basically fighting Tanjiro, or he's trying to, he's about to kill Tanjiro, literally comes, millimeters from stabbing his eye. And then Tengen shows back up. With, one of his two Nichiren cleavers in his mouth. He is gripping that shit with his teeth.
Because he's a badass.
Since he doesn't, have a second hand now.
He's lost one of his hands, and straight up, he's gripping that thing like he's frickin' Zoro from, One Piece. He's pulling... It's amazing. And this is when Gyutaro realizes, oh shit, he's not dead. And... Sorry, my cat just meowed at me go on.
I didn't hear it. Who was it?
Okay.
Nova or Magnus?
It was Nova.
Aw.
She woke up from her nap. Anyway, sorry, Nova. I'll get back to you in a second. When Gyutaro's like, "Oh my god, you're not dead," Tengen immediately does really cool nunchuck thing, grabs his swords, gets down in a slight lunging crouch, and he's like, "I fucking got it! I've got my fucking musical score technique. It's finished!" And we're all sitting here what? What do you mean musical score technique? Because it turns out one of his special moves, or one of his breathing techniques, is to be able to read. Once he figures out how an enemy fights, he can essentially see it as it's happening and essentially deflect it like it's a song. And so he watches it and basically or a better way to put it, he changes it into a musical score so that he can better fight.
Well, yeah, because he's basically what he is he's deflecting the attacks as if it's the beats of a score.
He's playing Beat Saber over here.
Literal Beat Saber.
He's literally playing DDR, as he's playing.
He's
But even
literally...
then, it was actually really cool. Because it's obviously, he was having a hard time deflecting it before, but now that he fully analyzed how Gyutaro fights, and has seen all the things he can do, he's like, perfect, I know exactly how to counter this guy. With one hand, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
not
gonna take us to victory! And it's like, oh god.
yeah, not only that. Basically, I'm pretty sure before he actually goes after Gyutaro like that, he does explain like why he's actually still alive. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Gyutaro figures it out.
Yeah, Tengen literally stopped his own heart.
To stop the poison from circulating.
Pretty much.
Long enough.
Do that. I just want to know.
And then
No,
just
don't question
bam,
it. Let it happen.
and then bam, he's good to go. You know, he kickstart somehow. I don't know how you do it, but it's cool.
Just let it happen. He's a shinobi. We're gonna let it happen.
Exactly. And again, anime. You know, to hell with it. And
Honestly, it was epic.
and also because of all this that transpires and whatnot, I was like, you realize this means Tengen has definitely practiced one-handed with both of his arms, probably, right?
When you pointed that out, I sat there like, well, maybe he just adjusted. But I'm like, no, he's using those as if he knows what to do. So,
Yeah.
no, you're probably right.
Yeah, he's still swinging just blades around one-handed. Like, yeah, sure, go ahead. That's not dangerous at all.
Yeah, especially
Not
with
for a
this
shinobi.
explosive power of these blades, which, by the way, someone pointed out, because they slowed down a specific action that he did, that, obviously, you know, he's swinging them around. At one point, you know, he stops, and he needs to lunge toward Gyutaro. What he does is he literally throws the other blade down, and the explosion he uses to propel himself forward.
Ugh.
But it's so quick, you might not have noticed.
Again, all this has to be explained because you too have to love Tengen. It's just a fact of life.
Like,
please.
I don't accept anything less than liking Tengen. I do not accept anything less than that.
You can find him. You can find him questionable at first. I'm pretty sure we all did.
Fine.
But
I think that's fair, though.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, he's like, oh, we got this. This is gonna take us to the victory. And Gyutaro realizes, like, oh no, he's doing all of this with one hand. And
like,
he
yep,
just
the fight is not
loses
over.
it.
The fight is not over.
Now, to be fair, Tanjiro is, by the way, running at Mach speed, keeping up with them. It's fucking insane.
With two broken fingers, by the way.
Gyutaro
yeah.
broke two of his fingers.
Gyutaro literally, when he was mocking him, broke his pointer finger and his middle finger.
Snapped back.
Like, they are purple, and they are curved in the wrong direction. Like, straight up broken fingers.
That's gross.
Gripping,
Anyway.
and the sword's also tied to his hand. He's tied the sword to the other hand. Because he couldn't
at this point, yeah.
hold it. So, that's Tanjiro's state. We should mention that. Because at the same time, we see Inosuke show back up and basically like try to get Daki as
You
well as
forgot someone.
Zenitsu.
I was like, you forgot someone.
No, because Zenitsu.
Well,
I'm gonna.
Zenitsu, I'm pretty sure, does pop out after Inosuke, though.
Yeah, and Inosuke comes back first and is like, "We're gonna get it." And yes,
no.
You tell us how it happened, Jess.
Okay, cool. I'm going to tell you exactly. So, Tanjiro tries to go for Gyutaro. Daki's like, shit, you can't go after my brother. Tries to attack. The person that stops Daki is, in fact, Zenitsu. He hopped out of the rubble.
With godlike speed.
Well, yeah, he hops out. Yeah, which is funny, because Jerica's like, how is Zenitsu gonna do this? And I'm like, hey, Jerica. And she's like, what? And I went, what if I told you Zenitsu can go even faster? And she went, what? And then that's when he did godlike speed and went
Literally
fucking Super Saiyan.
Perfect timing. Like, what if I told you he can go faster? What? Boom! It was great timing.
Oh, well, yeah, because I knew it was happening.
You did, but, you know...
Yeah, I read the manga. I knew it was happening.
I didn't read the manga.
I did read the manga. The manga's good. You should read it.
And I don't know about y'all, but this whole fight had me literally on the edge of the couch. You could also ask Jess.
Oh, yeah.
I was like...
She was.
Oh.
I mean, I was there with you. the first time we watched Demon Slayer season 2, I say first time because you rewatched it when the dub came out. But we were all watching it together.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, I just streamed it from my laptop. Bruh.
Yeah. So like, so yeah, Zenitsu goes godlike speed. Inosuke, pops up and is helping Zenitsu with Daki and everything, and Zenitsu Inosuke explains, it's just like, haha, I can literally just move my heart. Because that makes sense. Yeah, move his vital organs. He can just move them at will, so he basically made it so that way he didn't get cut through the heart. And he's also completely resistant to poison.
Well, he's not, but he's not affected by poison like most people.
Yeah, he's probably more resistant than even Tengen.
Oh, straight up is. He lived out in the woods. That boy probably poisoned himself on accident so many times.
Oh, yeah. And then probably on purpose later.
Well, like Inosuke, yeah.
Like, I can handle poison.
But yeah, because that's when Zenitsu basically has, like, his sword trying to cut Daki's head, while Tengen and Tanjiro are in the middle of trying to decapitate Gyutaro. And it is just, they basically manage it. They fight for it, they get through it. The screaming Tengen does is like, so good. It's great voice acting. And both dub and sub. I'm more partial to the dub, but they basically managed to decapitate them. And
same time.
Yeah, and it does the dramatic, their heads are flying, they both land, and the heads roll from opposite directions to face each other, like a couple inches apart. Dramatically, as anime does.
And they have to look at each other like,
fuck.
Shit.
Fuck.
We fucked up.
What? They're like, damn it.
They were like, uh-oh. One more thing hits the fan.
Yep. Since they're finally dying, now it's time to get their backstory, as all demons.
Yes.
And Demon Slayer.
Who wants to explain their backstory?
I don't know, man. It's really sad.
No, what? Why don't you do it, Jess? You get to talk about a certain somebody you want to talk about.
You're right.
Don't
okay,
you?
Okay. I got this. Okay. Sorry.
Sitting here with popcorn, like.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So, Gyutaro is the older brother. I don't think we mentioned that. So Gyutaro was born. He was born ugly, unfortunately, and that's not me trying to be mean about it. That he straight up says it himself. He was born in an entertainment district, and in the entertainment district, beauty is valued above all else. So obviously, people despise him. He smells, he is awkwardly skinny, he's, like, got terrible looking skin, no one feeds him properly, he ate rats and snakes just to survive. Someone gives him a sickle, because of course. Give this 4-year-old a sickle. Anyways, his life was hell. People tried to kill him, but he still endured. However, his life changed when his mother gave birth to Daki. Now, it's important to note, Daki is actually not Daki's name. Her name was Ume.
Which is the disease that killed their mom.
Yeah, she was named after the disease that killed their mother. However, Daki, or Ume, was beautiful. She was born very pretty, and she was gorgeous. So, Gyutaro raised Daki, or I'm just gonna say Daki. And, they live together, they manage to survive. Gyutaro actually starts working as a debt collector to try and earn some money, while Daki worked in the entertainment district. One day, a client, I guess, tried to do something that Daki didn't like, and she stabbed this guy in the eye with a hairpin. Like, one of the little, like, needle-like ones. And in retaliation, this man tied up Daki, dug a hole, and lit her on fire. Tried to burn her alive. And Gyutaro finds Daki like this, and she's alive. surprisingly. She's barely hanging in there. And the guy who tried to burn Daki tried to kill Gyutaro. That didn't work out. Gyutaro is very effective at killing people, even though he's like 12. That's depressing.
Yeah.
Anyways, he tries to get help, and no one wants to help them, and he's cursing God, and then
Walking through the snow.
the boy. Okay, so before I go too spoilery here, so a demon shows up. This demon is at the time he's currently upper 6. His eyes say upper 6, which oh my god. Okay, so this guy's got rainbow eyes, by the way.
They're beautiful.
I'm like, oh, they're the color of the pansexual flag, by the way. They're kind of
pink,
like
yellow, and blue.
pink, yellow, and blue, and I'm like, oh my god, he's pansexual. Anyways,
I mean,
so this demon sees a pair of siblings, very pitiful, very sad, and he's like, you know what? I'm feeling very generous. Why don't you become demons? You would be able to rescue your sister there. And even maybe one day you'll actually climb up into the ranks of the upper Kiseki, which is exactly what happens because Daki and Gyutaro become upper 6. I think I'll just go ahead and say it. So this demon that they run across is Doma. Doma is currently upper 2. We haven't actually met him properly in show, but he is upper 2. I love this man, by the way. He is absolutely, like, the worst person ever, but, like, he's so fun. I can't wait to actually meet him in the show. It's gonna be so fun. That's gonna be, like, the first scene of season 3, and I'm going to be all for it.
we're gonna... But, yeah. Basically, yeah, that demon Doma just shows up and basically makes them into demons. And because Gyutaro was already like a skilled fighter, like at least he was a skilled protector, maybe would be a good one, because he was basically like Ume's bodyguard and the person that stood up for her and like the breadwinner. He already was good at fighting, while Daki, for lack of a better phrasing, really her main skill was just being pretty.
She could fight, but
she could fight. She was not the fighter of the two.
The thing was, though, is that she wasn't going to put up with anybody's shit.
Which I appreciate. Like, get it, girl. Careful, though.
We don't like people that are just doormats.
I don't know, disrespect Wannon?
Would you like to explain how that happened, Jericho?
What, the disrespect Wannon?
Yeah.
Oh, how you explained to me about Doma and his love of things. I will in a second. But yeah, they after that backstory that flashback, you basically it flashes back to current day, and Tanjiro basically is back in his like, I am breathing, I am dying, like I can't breathe, because he was basically not only like fighting as hard as he could, he was also poisoned, from my understanding. I think he was poisoned because right when they decapitated Gyutaro, he was actually stabbed through like under his chin into his mouth, and he got poisoned. So he's sitting there breathing and panting like, oh my god, I can't, this poison, like he's dying. And he sees Tengen vaguely, and Tengen is like yelling at him, but he can't hear what he's saying. He's like, what is going on? Didn't we just decapitate him? What's going on? And apparently, Gyutaro's body had one final attack, which was a fuck ton of those rotating blood slashes all throughout the entirety of the Yoshiwara Entertainment District. It exploded so far.
I think it's important to mention that the two wives that weren't helping when they were fighting Gyutaro earlier actually evacuated everybody.
Yeah,
no one died. That's important to mention.
Yeah, that happened earlier.
Yeah, it was like a side thing.
But
no deaths.
Yeah, but she he basically had one final attack, and that's what Tengen was yelling about, was you need to run, because Tengen actually saw that it was about to happen and tried to save Tanjiro, which he did. He saved them all. But the way this episode ends, it like shows everything light up on fire, and then it's just very slowly you see everything, like the ashes burn down, like it just goes down to like a subtle fire, and then just like red like ashes, and then it's just falling pieces of debris from the sky that like lit up and flew into the air. And that's the end of the episode. There's no ending song. The credits play over the fire. I straight up threw my house shoe across the apartment.
She was literally on the edge of her seat, leaning forward, about to hop over the coffee table. Like, she wasn't even eating our food. And then the credits start rolling, and she went, "God damn it!" And she threw her house shoe across the room.
I threw it. I was pissed. I was like, what just happened? Because this is from Tanjiro's perspective, where he's like, why is Tengen yelling? And, like, what is Tengen trying to say to me? Like, I can't understand him. You can just see his body language, but again, you're seeing through Tanjiro's eyes of being poisoned, and you realize, oh shit. And then the next episode cuts to, like, Tengen's perspective, where, thankfully, you actually heard what he was saying, and, like, the whole, wait, I see the things, oh god, it's gonna explode. Once everything settles, it gets to, like, Nezuko saving, Tanjiro, because, apparently her ability is very good. Where it stops the poison.
Yeah, because it hurts things that are demon-related, but it leaves humans alone. And the poison was created by a demon, so it can burn the poison.
Yep. So Nezuko saves Tanjiro. And by the way, just to give some clarification, again, we were watching this as the episodes were coming out weekly. So So the fact that the ending was that, where the credits are just rolling as it's like panning out, as we just see the fire, no ending song or anything like that. Yeah, you'd be a little upset.
My house shoe being thrown was justified.
See, at this point, I had actually read the manga, so, like, okay, admittedly, I did not know that's how they were gonna cut the episode, but I did know that, okay, the last episode, which also was a bit longer than a standard episode, was gonna be that, but my brain was not processing the information properly, and I was just like, oh my god, what the hell? And then, like, the credits rolled, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, see, it's so much better when it's animated and stuff. It makes everything more tense. You get more character because you actually get voices and how they say things, and it's all fantastic. But anyway, Nezuko burns the poison in Tanjiro, and we see Tengen sitting up, just like leaned against some rubble. He is pretty purple because of all the poison that has gone through his system.
And all hair's down.
Hair's bit down. Eyes messed up.
Bandaged up.
Yep.
Oh yeah, by the way, Gyutaro actually slashed at Tengen, and actually Tengen lost one of his eyes. So
yeah, and which sucks. But all three of his wives are there, just sad. They're like, no, I don't want him to die. And this is the part where I was gonna get to about Suma, because Tengen is trying to say stuff because he's literally dying. He knows it. And Suma just won't shut the hell up for 5 damn seconds and let Tengen talk.
Literally, I think it's Makio, like, Lord Tengen's trying to say something.
Yeah,
stuff
like,
your mouth in rocks.
It's like, God damn it, just let him. But then Tanjiro comes over with Nezuko, I believe, first. Because it doesn't Tanjiro also go over to where Gyutaro's body is still sitting, and like and like put his hand on Gyutaro's back?
Well, to confirm that he's dead, yes.
Well, it's also Tanjiro being good boy Tanjiro that he is, and trying to comfort a demon in their last moments.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's in a second. Yeah, Nezuko pops up, and they all freak out because literally, basically, she ignites Tengen to get the poison out of him, or to help the poison, and he stops, like, dying of poison. Because he somehow bandaged his arm. He'd covered his eye already. But yeah, she gets rid of the poison. And then Suma starts crying for a whole nother reason, that he's not dying.
Yeah, pretty much.
God. I like Suma, but girl,
and then
not my favorite.
And then Tengen is basically like, "Fuck this, I'm retiring."
When Obanai shows up, by the way.
Yeah, Obanai of all people.
Fucking Obanai.
Yeah, Obanai is literally like, okay, I was sent over here because I was close by. Okay, I understand that you're injured.
When you gotta get back to work.
When you're gonna get back to work. We currently have a vacancy in the Hashira position after Rengoku died. You can't just retire on us. You're being lazy. We have shit to do. We gotta kill Muzan. And I'm like, fuck you, Obanai.
You, Obanai. I was like, this man just lost a hand. Shut up.
Lost a man, nearly died to poison, stopped his own heart to slow down the poison.
I'm like, Obanai, you have no right to talk right now.
Lost an eye.
Man, I outright told Jessica I hate Obanai right now. I outright hate Obanai.
To be fair, Obanai does get better. Admittedly, he is kind of a jerk. But just know, I swear he gets better. If you hate him now, just wait a bit.
Well, again, that's what I'm pretty sure. Considering all the backstories for literally every character, including demons, it's like you have the potential to like pretty much every character.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy, and kudos to the writer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said the writer Katsura Hoshino, but that is not who wrote
That
Demon
is
Slayer.
not correct.
Like...
It's Koyoharu Gotoge.
Yes, so it's right after that Tanjiro sniffs out the demons because he's like, I have to make sure they're dead. I need to know. He has anxiety, and he's got to double check that he's done his work correctly.
Not only that, he needed to get another blood sample because they are upper ranks.
So he got the blood sample
Because that's
what he got from the body. He got the blood from the body.
Yeah, because that'd be a quick explanation of just there is a demon that is cool named Tamayo that Tanjiro is kind of working with that happened back in season 1.
Miss Tamayo? Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Tamayo.
I love Miss Tamayo.
And Yushiro, I guess, but...
I love Yushiro, man. He's so fun.
He's a simp.
The world's biggest simp. One person only. I
thought that was you. You were simping for Tengen.
I will... Listen here, you.
If it's not...
Listen here.
If it's not Tengen, it's Sodomy. If it's not Sodomy, it's Rengoku.
If it's not Rengoku, it's Gyu. Like, I got them all.
If it's not Gyu, I'm sure there's somebody else.
Yeah,
So...
You'll just go back to the square one.
Although, to be fair, you sound like you're becoming my phone! You sound like you're becoming a Doma simp.
Slowly but surely.
So, anyway. But, no, this is where, Tanjiro goes to double check that, the heads are going away, and he finds the two heads arguing. They're fighting each other.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They're fighting. And this is where basically, they're like, I wish you were never born, or I wish, like, if you were here, I would have been stronger, or, like, you suck, like, you didn't do anything good. And, like, they're bickering, and finally, Tanjiro covers Gyutaro's mouth and is like, you don't mean anything you're saying right now. Y'all are siblings. Why are y'all doing this? Y'all only have each other. And basically Tanjiro's like, it doesn't matter. He disregards the fact that they are demons for like 30 seconds and is like, y'all need to stop. Because y'all are dying.
Again, that's pretty much what he does with every demon. Just, trying to talk to them afterwards.
And basically there's this was actually, it really got me. About as bad as Rengoku dying. Gyutaro, you see him standing, and you can tell that he's basically facing hell. and he basically sees Daki as like her normal self, like before she became a demon, and basically he's like, "You're not my sister anymore. You need to go walk the other direction, like walk towards the light." Because technically, it was kind of his decision that they became demons because she couldn't talk in a way when you really think about it. Even though she clearly was fine with it. He starts walking towards like the fire, starts walking towards hell essentially. But Daki immediately runs, jumps on Gyutaro's back like a piggyback style, and is like, "I don't want to be alone. I'm always going to be your little sister. Do not leave me." And it's just so sad because he's like, "Okay." And he just walks into hell with her, literally being carried on his back. That hurt a lot, man. It was
It did.
It hurt. It
Again,
was so powerful.
Not as much as a Rengoku death, but hoo-wee.
It was pretty bad. I was like, "Oh, this hurt. This hurt more than it should have."
It was up there.
Yes, the Rengoku's death is by far the saddest.
Like, I already knew this backstory, don't get me wrong. It was still sad to see, of course. But both y'all were like, "I'm upset." And I'm like, I'm over here laughing because I'm like, "Oh, y'all haven't experienced pain yet."
Oh, I don't know how it does. But, yeah. That hurt to watch. And, basically, that's kind of like when you see Obanai talking to Tengen, from my understanding, or my recollection, and basically that's just it for the Demon Slayers. But there is one more scene. There's one more thing that happens. You see Akaza standing where all the lower moons were when they were originally killed in season 1. Randomly, Akaza's just standing there, and he's like, "Why have I been summoned? This is weird. Why are all the upper ranks being summoned, it seems like?" And then it hits him. They haven't been summoned in a long time because no one has died. So someone must have just died. And then it cuts to black.
And
or
that's
something
when the credits roll.
And the credits roll. Which, by the way, the shot of Akaza... Oh, man. Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Very good shot.
Jericho, you're just thirsty for Akaza, admit it.
Stop it!
It's fine. It's fine.
I didn't say it was a bad thing. You need to admit it. You're thirsty for Akaza. It's okay.
And now we wait for season 3 of Demon Slayer in spring of 2023.
Hell yeah!
Coming up pretty soon-ish.
I mean, that's probably like another 9 months if I had to guess. At least.
They say spring, it's gonna basically be the summer.
Maybe. Who knows? They might be on time.
Well, when they say spring, it could be like May.
That's true.
Not March. Like, it could basically be summer. And not that that's wrong. And even if it was in summer, I'm like, well, that's not... I don't know, it's not like Final Fantasy related delays. But yeah, we now have to wait for season 3.
I know, it's gonna be painful.
Look,
so
all I have to say is don't let season 3 of Demon Slayer and Final Fantasy 16 come out at the same time, for the love of God.
You're gonna have to take off like a week, at least, minimum.
Oh, no.
Well, to be fair, if I do end up moving next summer, I may be in Texas by then.
Hell yeah. Come see us, boy.
You know what, Connor? If you don't manage to get a PS5, I will get Final Fantasy 16 and we can play it together.
That works. We can trade off and on.
Yeah.
Y'all like share the PS5 like a child. Like...
Mom said it's my turn on the PS5. To be fair, I would be the younger sibling, so that works.
Oh my
so
god.
bad.
That's terrible. Oh my god. The idea of having a brother is weird.
Yeah, it says me and you have no brothers. Like,
Yeah, like, we have no brothers. We have sisters.
Demon Slayer makes me want a brother, though.
No, I don't want a brother.
You don't want Senjuro?
Yeah, you're telling me you wouldn't want little Senjuro?
You wouldn't want a little bean? A little small bean as a brother?
Why'd you
Screw
keep
you, I want him as
emphasizing-
my brother.
Wait, no! Stop! You're putting words in my mouth.
Don't
But-
put words into my mouth!
But yes, that concludes Demon Slayer Season 2.
So, if I may ask as the guest, what are your, I guess, final thoughts, if I may ask? Because I'm curious what y'all think, as the host of as y'all are the main host of the show.
So, our thoughts of season 2 Demon Slayer?
Yes. Overall.
Let's see. I guess I'll go first. So, as far as final thoughts on Demon Slayer season 2, number one that has to be mentioned for me is the animation, just straight up. The animation was probably the best I've ever seen in any anime, period.
Good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's other ones that have fantastic animation, don't get me wrong. Like, there's plenty of good moments in other things, like Fate, for instance, or like Dragon Ball. More so later variations like Super. Like,
Yeah,
Talk about
which is
that
fair.
one small anime that you need to finish.
yeah. But there's definitely all sorts of good stuff to say about the animation. Like, that's the main thing that has to come across. Again, the whole joke about, oh, Jeff Bezos funded season 2 of Demon Slayer.
I mean, it pretty much was.
Like, my goodness. So,
It was, and I double checked real quick. I really did look it up. It is $80,000 per episode.
that's probably for like the average, because obviously they didn't need 80,000 per episode.
No, it was per episode.
I'm saying based on the level of animation that was done. Obviously, once it got to the fighting, that animation's obviously well and above episodes that have zero fighting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, the cost for making a single episode of Demon Slayer, known for its unique animation style, is $80,000. And again, I've told this to Jess numerous times. You know how they always do, like, the Taisho era secret at the end of every episode, for the most part? You can definitely tell that the animation is drastically lower in those moments. It's like the chibi mimi, like, cute type thing.
Yeah, but I mean, it's on purpose.
No, yeah, but that's like a trick to get around the budget. Because I know they did that for Hellsing Ultimate. They did random scenes like that, and it so they could put their budget in another scene.
I mean, there's plenty of animes that do stuff like that. But yeah, there's obviously other takeaways, like specifying character stories and stuff like that, because character stories are always good with Demon Slayer. That's going to be very consistent, I can already tell. But I will let Jess say something as well for her final thoughts of season 2.
Final thoughts?
Trying to think.
You had plenty of time to think.
Overwhelmed?
I mean, to be fair, like, I really liked season 2 a lot. Because I'll admit, I read the manga, and admittedly, it was a good, arc. But I was like, I don't think this is my favorite. I may have to change that opinion.
Yeah.
It was actually really good. I actually think it is better animated. I don't know how to explain this, but like I really like the style of the show, and like it just works really well, and it continues on, and it's gonna hopefully continue on into season 3. And I'm excited for season 3 because we're gonna meet 2 of the best Hashira, Miss Hashira and Love Hashira. We stand both of these, by the way. You're objectively incorrect if you say you hate them.
You're objectively incorrect if you hate Mitsuri. I will literally accept nothing less than loving Mitsuri.
If you do not like Mitsuri, I cannot trust you. Straight up.
That's like saying you don't like puppies. Like, straight up.
It's
like saying you don't like cute animals. Like, are you effing kidding me?
To be fair, yeah, she's pretty much on the level of a cute animal.
Like,
she's great. We love her.
Like, we stan a queen that just radiates sunshine. It's like Kyojuro. Like,
she's the Love Hashira because I love her. There you go.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I cannot wait, because considering the level of animation that was in the movie and then season 2, season 3 is still going to have fantastic animation, and I can't wait to see how Mitsuri is animated, because her sword is basically a whip sword.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I want to know. I want to see that.
I want to see how that's going to look. That's going to look incredible, I bet.
I'd argue it's gonna be a bit easier because, her sword doesn't have some elaborate pattern on it. I think it's just pink.
Yeah, I think it's just like the spine is like a dark color, and then like the sharp part of the blade is pink. So It's not intricate like Kyojuro's.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm I'm straight up excited. I'm not gonna explain anything that happens, but from what I understand, I do just hope that people don't think the next season is dull. I don't think it's going to be, but I worry because there's always like, this is peak animation, this is the best fighting ever, and then even if it's just like a hair down, people think it sucks.
See,
I feel like it could happen.
I think
it can't be peak all the time. Let's be real.
It can't be. That's the thing, though. It can't be peak all the time. You can't have. Like, it's still basically going to be perfect, but you can't have perfection literally all the time in every aspect. There's going to be something that isn't as intense or as good every single time, while there's other things that might be better than something previous. So, like, Season 3, as far as it's concerned, and I'm pretty sure the Demon Slayer fandom, even though, again, it's very popular, I think most people will probably be understanding. Like, because I said it myself, I was like, topping Season 2 is going to be super difficult. But they don't necessarily have to top it. Like, it's not like it's not like it's a necessity, I should say.
Yeah,
so...
which I think that too. I only like, okay, I know what happens in the next stuff, but judging by the names of the arcs, I'm willing to bet you the final arc will actually top Season 2. Because it's the Sunset Countdown. Is it Sunset Countdown?
Something like that.
Yeah, like Sunset Countdown. Or something like that. Or like Sundown Countdown. I don't know. Sounds like a country song.
Well, again, that's the thing. Like, I'm not saying nothing will top Season 2. I'm just saying Season 3 probably can't.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be that, like... You know how there's like a roller coaster and like, it's like wee, and then it's like wee, and then it's like wee, and then it's gonna be one more big wee, like that. That's what's gonna happen.
So I mean,
I think that's what's gonna happen.
I don't know. We'll find out come spring, maybe early summer of 2023.
Let's just pray that it's spring, please. Spring, like March 1st, please.
I mean, I'll take April or May, but it's fine.
I'm a little impatient.
I mean, I'm impatient. I'm impatient about a lot of things. Demon Slayer Season 3, Final Fantasy 16. I just want shit to come out, please.
The next patch for Final Fantasy 14.
Please.
Genshin Impact.
Bruh, Genshin though.
I don't even want to talk about Genshin right now. My brain hurts.
You'll be
fine. I do, but I don't, and I'm like, I need to stop experiencing brain rot. It needs to go.
But okay, so, anything else you would like to say about Demon Slayer before we finish up?
Please
give it a watch
try.
it.
Okay. How about one at a time?
Go watch Demon Slayer. Now, if you haven't, do yourself a favor and go experience an amazing story with good character development. And beautiful animation and hot anime men. I mean...
Yeah, you could say hot anime women too. You got Daki, you got Shinobu, you got Mitsuri.
They're you know what? Really just hot people.
Hot people.
Individuals. Hot anime individuals.
Or beautiful, pretty, cute, whatever.
Sexy, fun, intelligent, amazing, brilliant.
And then enjoy Good Boy Tanjiro, enjoy Crybaby Zenitsu, enjoy Himbo and Nosuke, and enjoy best little sister character Nezuko.
The literal best girl. Literal best girl. But yeah, that's...
Alright, Jess, anything for you?
Sorry, Jarek is just absolute, like, yes, I shall praise thee, Demon Slayer. I'm surprised she doesn't have a shrine in her room yet.
I already have a katana.
I have a katana too.
I do too!
Exactly.
Oh yeah, we all have katanas, oh yeah.
All different ones.
Yes,
yeah.
I got Gyu's, and Jessica, I think, has Kyojiro's, and you have Tanjiro's.
Yep.
Which is a beautiful combination.
I will stab someone with this sword.
Please don't.
Yours isn't battle ready like Jericho.
Yeah,
okay, but the tip is still sharp.
I mean, yeah, Jessica's the tip's really sharp on hers. Actually, she could stab a person, but mine is lethal.
Of course I could, but do I want to?
When your defense weapon is a katana.
Anyways, I agree. I mean, I'm aware, yes, Demon Slayer has a lot of hype around it, and yes, things that are overhyped do tend to not be quite as good in many people's eyes because you've set your expectations way too high. I did that with Frozen. I'm sorry. It's a good movie, but it was not the hype.
What? Frozen?
Anyways. Yes.
So random.
That is a very random
That
thing
was
to
the
throw out
first
there.
thing that hit me. It was the first thing that hit me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No, it's fine. It's just really fun.
All right. So
Anyway, but
go ahead.
regardless, Demon Slayer is good. I highly recommend you give it a shot. Like, just try and finish season 1. If you're not interested, you don't need to keep watching.
That's like 24 episodes.
Okay, well then get to
Episode.
Hyogai.
I say get to. That's half the show.
That's the thing. I feel like you have to at least go through. Let's see, what is it?
Final selection.
Maybe final. I think first mission. I think if you go through first mission, I think that'll give you a general idea. But if you want to get a more overarching and actually get all of Tanjiro and Co., then you have to get through Suzumi Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah. That's a lot of the thoughts I mostly have.
Okay, so I meant to do this at the beginning, but I noticed again today, so I want to get these out there just for me, myself personally on the stream. But I noticed that my follower count went up again while I was not streaming, so these weren't a part of this stream, but I did notice I had 2 more. So I wanted to call out Young Mama TTV and WV Twin. Thank you for following the channel very much, if you ever actually watch this VOD. So,
Yes, thank you very much.
I wanted to put that out there, so.
Woohoo!
But,
Yeah.
with that, I think that concludes it. So, thank you all for dropping by for another interesting edition of the Age Show. As we finally talked about anime, I'm not going to say what we're going to do next week because we haven't decided yet, so I'll keep that one for up to debate as we figure out what we want to do. Maybe more anime, maybe another game. We'll figure it out.
That'll be for future us to decide.
Maybe even right after this show finishes, we'll talk. I kind of want to talk about it because I like to know what we're going to do.
Yeah, we gotta plan it because get your thoughts together. I don't know. Maybe play the game for a bit to refresh your memory if we're talking about a game.
Yeah. Again, though, like, it happened whenever we talked about Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Like, we played the story immediately whenever Endwalker came out, and we weren't sure, like, how much are we really going to remember? And then as we talked about it, it was just, we remember practically everything. Which is why that show was 4 hours long.
Yeah,
Jericho.
like y'all went on for a while about that. I was like, dang, I didn't know there
Jericho
was
like
this much
messaged
detail.
me. Jericho messaged me. Was like, "Damn, are you gonna shut up?" Like,
Actually, I'm not gonna lie about this episode, because the way I set up our episodes, I'm like, our introductions and our question of the week will take like 10 minutes. Our discussion for today, I was like, it'll probably take up to 2 hours, and then our closing is probably like another 10 minutes. We are pretty much spot on today.
Yeah,
finally,
heck yeah.
So,
all according to Kate.
like that Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker one, I was not prepared for it to go that long, but it did.
I mean, y'all were clearly that hype and that excited.
Well, to be
Well,
fair,
good.
we were before it came out, and we loved the hell out of it after it came out, and actually got to play it. So yes.
Yes.
But yeah.
But all right. So again,
yeah.
that will conclude this episode. Thanks to everybody who stopped by. Even if you didn't chat, I was paying attention to the numbers because I want to know what's going on.
Micromanaging everything.
Thanks to I'm also looking at Twitter. It's like thanks to anybody who liked the tweet with the question of the week or the stream itself announcement. So, but all right. So thank you all again, and we will see you in next week's edition of the Age Show. Ciao.